Hello and welcome to the Steve Kayla Show. Before we start, I just want to say thank you to our sponsors, Graham's Windows and Doors. Graham's Windows and Doors are Yeovil's finest purveyor of windows, doors, conservatories. They do all the good stuff. If you head over to their website, grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk, you'll see all the incredible reviews. They speak for themselves. So thanks again to our sponsors and get yourselves to grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk. Now, on with the show. Hi everyone. Hello, welcome to the Steve Kayla Show. We've got a special episode today. I'm joined by local handsome man and boxer, Brad Axe. Brad, how you doing, mate? Are you okay?
Really good, yeah. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Oh, mate, it's a pleasure. I've got to tell you that you first came on my radar at your last fight, because me and Misha, my partner, who I think you know from school.
Yeah, we went to school together.
Me and Misha were on a date night, and like I always do, I try and show off and impress her all the time. And she said they're showing the fight in the pub, and I was going, what fight? She was, well, Brad's fighting. I was going, who the hell's Brad? I'm on a date night here. I'm trying to. And she goes, well, we can do it in a minute. I would go in there and watch the fight. And so I was like, maybe I was trying to stick breadsticks up my nose. Look at me, trying to get attention from her. But we ended up trying to watch your fight in the pub. So
what pub was it in?
This was at what's the one just over there?
The Arrow, is it?
Arrow, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, they were showing it on the
they
screen.
had that on, so that's cool.
Yeah, they were showing it on the screen in there, and it took all the love and affection away from me for.
Well, sorry about that, but thanks for watching.
But people rallied
Appreciate
around. Yeah, yeah, it was great, man. Really, really good. And that's why I want to talk to you sort of since then, because I was just really impressed. I'm really impressed by your sort of your motivation and what it is you're trying to do. So take us back to the beginning. Why on earth being punched? Why boxing?
Yeah, so it all started back when I was at school. So I'd played football. You know how it is at school. Everybody plays football. You just go along with it. And I got to the age of about 14, 15. I wasn't really enjoying it anymore. And I was looking for something to do. And a friend at school, Charlie Amor, shout out Charlie Amor.
Oh, I love Charlie Amor. Yeah.
He's in the army now, boxing himself again now, which is good to see. So, but yeah, he invited me down to Yeovil Boxing Club. Again, I got into a few fights and stuff at school, and he was like, "You should come down to the boxing gym." So I did, and yeah, just fell in love with it from there really. And after a few sessions, I was hooked. After about
Literally
hooked. I actually got hooked a few times. But yeah, after probably about a year, I had my medical, signed up for my first fight and stuff, and got absolutely battered in my first fight, to be honest. Absolutely smashed up.
Yeah.
And I have to tell everyone how good I was and whatever, and I was loving it. It wasn't a good thing, but I sort of come back from that, and I think that sort of showed from the start that I was going to stick at it, because I'd had basically the worst start possible to an amateur career. Being stopped in the second round, my face was like covered in blood. Obviously not very nice for my parents or family and friends and stuff that were there.
Yeah.
But
important lesson learned, I suppose.
Of course, absolutely. And I sort of had that moment there where I sat there and I thought, I either put everything into this now, because I'm now a boxer. I've had my first fight. I put everything into it and come back, or I look for something else. And I did. I put everything into it. Lost a little bit more weight. Trained harder, ran more, and I come back to win like the next 5, all by stoppage, by knockout as well. So that was it sort of was the answers to my questions of, is this for me? And after those 5 wins, all by knockout, I thought, yeah, this is for me. And I love the feeling of training it. And it sounds quite big-headed, but with football, obviously, as a football team, we'd win occasionally. We weren't the best team, but we'd win occasionally, and it would be a nice feeling. But with boxing, when I won, it was for me, and I'd done that, and it's a good feeling when you're in there and you know that, like, yeah, you train with your coach, you train with your stable mates and stuff, but when you get in there, it's you who's having that fight, and it's only you can make a difference.
Yeah,
and when
man.
you then have won that, and it's nice.
Oh, that's what I admire most about it, because you can do all the training in the world and prepare yourself as much as you can, and then but it's only you in there. Then.
Absolutely.
So it's got to be such a rewarding feeling to have, because if you win, you've earned every single second of that, haven't you?
It's you that's missed out on, I don't know, family parties, nights out with your friends, meals with your family. Do you know what I mean? There's been times where I haven't had the same. I've been like, oh no, it's all right. You guys go and have food or whatever, and I'll eat my own thing. Like it's hard.
Sure.
It's hard life, but it's worth it.
Well, we've talked to a couple of local boxers on here now over the last few years, and the thing that always comes back is the sacrifice of the thing, the sacrifice with no guarantees, which is heroic. Because there's people who, the guys who spoke to before have said, there's no money in it. We have to raise money via sponsorship. It's really, really hard. We don't go out and do other things. We've got to stay disciplined and all that sort of stuff. So it's just, it's really admirable.
So for me, obviously now, having just turned professional, now the sort of money comes into it. Prior to that, I had 53 amateur fights.
Wow.
Obviously never got paid for any of them. So now there's a little bit more motive behind it, and I'm more doing it now for my family. If I can get the right shots and the right opportunities, then I could secure things and a positive future for my family, or more of a positive future for my family anyway,
Sure.
which is more motivation for me.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm training harder than ever and trying to get the opportunities that I can.
Yeah. So that's brilliant. And tell me about your first professional fight then. So how did you feel? Was it did you feel different going into it, or was there more on the line, or how did it feel?
I felt different, but I think that was because my camp, I had like an 8-week training camp building up to it, and everything was perfect. And I know it sounds cliche to say that, but my training camp with my coach, Carl Ellis, I recently teamed up with him when I moved back from Cyprus. Everything just went so smoothly. Every spar I was getting better. We were working on certain things, and it just got better and better and better. And I also brought on board a mindset coach, Al Pepper. He's a flight lieutenant in the RAF.
Wow.
So he does the psychology training for the upcoming pilots that are joining the RAF.
Wow.
And he reached out to me, and he was like, look, Brad, I see you're in the RAF and you're starting your professional career. Like, would you be interested in working with me? And straight away I was like, absolutely. Like, in this game, every sort of 1% of improvement makes a massive difference. And honestly, that I worked with him for the last 2 weeks building up to the fight, and mentally I've never felt in a better position.
Wow.
With stuff like visualization, sort of trying to... Everyone has negative thoughts in life. If you picture the future, oh yeah, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? And it's about controlling those emotions. And like I say, the work I did with him, it just got me to the mental state of... I've just felt perfect.
Yeah.
Alongside with the training camp going perfect, having the right support on a good show, and yeah, it was unbelievable. I say I felt different. It was different in there. Smaller gloves, having my top off.
Oh, I see.
It was different in there, but the build up, I just felt so in control of the situation.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
One of the best night of my boxing career so far.
Wow.
Until I won a title.
Yeah. That's great. So that's really. I didn't even know that was a mindset sort of coaching thing.
Yeah.
Must be really important. I mean, I could use that all the time.
Honestly,
it's really interesting.
I would advise anyone. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people nowadays, they speak to people, and I think that's important to speak and to speak about emotions and stuff. But everyone's like, oh, he's turning pro. He's a boxer. Oh, that's cool. He must be well mentally strong. And I am. I keep myself as a mentally strong person. But having someone there to support you mentally, ask you questions. Well, how does this make you feel?
Yeah.
What if this happens? In the emotions, like for example, doing some visualization the day of the fight. Led in the hotel, I've weighed in, everything's done. All I've got to do now is get in there and fight. Yeah. And I'm trying to lead there, like almost trying to have a nap, but visualising the first couple of shots I'm going to throw, or the ring walk. And I look at my watch and my heart rate's like 104. I'm led there in bed. I'm like, but then it's understanding that that's okay. And we, obviously I'm in the fire service of the RAF as well. And me and this Al, we sort of come up with this phrase of control the fire.
Right,
so
nice.
Fire is incredible. You can heat your house, you can cook your food, you can do anything with it. Whereas if you let it get out of control, it can burn your house down.
Yeah,
and that's the sort of thing that he said to me. And we said, let that emotion, when I'm picturing the ring walk, when I'm picturing those first couple of fights, the little butterflies you get, treat that as a fire. And he said, don't let it get out of control, control the fire. So when I then was like, my heart rate's on 104 here, control the fire, put a bit of media down.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's all right. Do
Wow.
you know what I mean? And honestly, I can't thank Al Pepper, if you're listening. Thank you so much, because it helped massively.
Yeah.
And then the ring walk, where I'd visualised it so many times, and it went exactly as I had pictured it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel nervous at all, which was so weird, because it's probably one of the best ring walks ever. I don't know if you've seen the videos, I can show you after, but it was incredible, and I just felt so present, and that was one thing I was quite cautious of.
Sure.
I didn't want to let it run away with me. You know, sometimes in fight or flight positions, because that's what I'm in, you sort of block it out, and then you try and picture it after, and you're like, oh, I can't really remember it.
Yeah,
Or,
I see.
I didn't want that. I wanted to take in every aspect. I was
present.
looking up to the crowd and walking past my family in the VIP bit and stuff, and I was like, this is where I'm at. I deserve to be here. And it was an unbelievable feeling, honestly.
Yeah, I totally understand and relate. Because what we try and do, even here, might not seem like much, but the goal we have here is to be the #1 podcast in the country.
Absolutely.
And that all my time is spent, one, wrestling with the self-doubt that comes with having such a lofty goal, and two, going, well, no, fuck it, we'll be all right. And then visualizing. What I do all the time is I picture the Steve Kayla show, Spotify podcast
100%.
#1 at the chart. I'm always trying to, like I said, manifest. I'm trying to breathe that into reality by picturing it over and over again.
And you'd be surprised how much difference that makes. And if you can get in your head that you are the best podcast in the country, that it will happen.
Yeah.
You're doing the right things, and I did the right things, and now I've visualised turning professional, and that's where I'm at. And you just got to keep manifesting.
That's amazing.
Manifesting it.
Yeah, that's really good. So what now, mate? Where do you see your future going now? What is it you want to achieve in the sport?
So for me, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to be unified world champion, because I don't think about that level, but I know for a fact that I've got what it takes to get to that English title, British title level. So I'm a middleweight, and looking at up the ladder now, I know I've got what it takes to be up, mixing it with the best. So my plans are, I'm going to have a couple of fights before the end of the year, hopefully finish year 3-0. Obviously I'm still working in the Royal Air Force as well. I'm still an instructor at the Defence Fire Training Unit as well. So I'm quite busy with that, so I need to try and I juggle my time quite. Obviously I've got a family, a 5-year-old son as well, a wife who runs the show back home when I'm not there, and I'm out training, so I'm grateful for her.
Good partner is key to the whole enterprise.
Absolutely,
isn't it?
and I wouldn't be sat here now talking about my boxing career if it wasn't her. For her, to be honest. So,
it's incredible, man. Like the other day, most weekends I find myself in here till 3 a.m, editing all sorts of stuff out, whilst my partner's in there. Like, she's go to bed by herself sometimes because I'm in here doing this sort of thing. And a good woman behind you is a core pillar, isn't it?
You need it, honestly. So shout out to the women.
Yeah. Good going, women. Good work.
Thank you. But yeah, so finish the year 3-0, and then by the end of next year have a few more fights, and then push on for like a area title. So where my house is at the minute, I go into like the southern area titles. So that'd be like some good kids at the southern area level, but I think I've got what it takes to get one of them by the end of next year, or maybe the start of 2026. That'll be, and then just push on from there. Once you get that, like an area title, you become a name in the middleweight rankings, and then see what happens from there.
Yeah, incredible. So let's talk a little bit about sponsorships, because I know from talking to boxers on the podcast before that sponsorship is key to the whole sort of operation. So how have you found that so far, like finding sponsors and all that sort of thing?
So prior to turning pro, I didn't have any sponsors. Obviously, I was always boxing for the RAF. I didn't need it. Whereas now, turning pro, like I say, I'm still in the RAF, so I still have an income through them. But where I'm training at the minute, it's about an hour away from my house as well. So travel, then obviously paying for even little things like massages. I go for a massage once a week. Obviously fuel, the travel to and from.
There's medical scans and brain scans.
Exactly,
stuff as well,
Well, I'm very, very lucky. My management team, they cover the brain scans, they cover all the medical costs.
That's good.
Again, I'm so grateful for that. But like obviously food as well. The food costs are a joke really at the minute, aren't they? And I'm just about to take on. Well, I started before my first fight. Took on a proper nutritionist who specialises in boxing. So that's £200 a month, which seems a lot, but his knowledge is just through the roof and another level. But obviously the food that I'm cooking and it's expensive. So the sponsorship just helps with the survival of my training camp really.
Yeah.
It's intense, and I'm able to fuel myself properly, and supplements and stuff as well. Just it all helps. So I did have, prior to my friend, he sponsored me through his business called Quick Nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So he was giving me meal preps for my training camps and stuff.
Oh.
But then he's moving to Cyprus now, so that's finishing.
I see.
Obviously I wish him all the best, and hopefully what his business plans are from now on go well. But I've got the Custom Wood Company there, a company from Yeovil that sponsor me still at the minute as well.
Yeah, that's good.
H&J Renovations from over in Wincanton, they sponsor me as well. And then I've got a sponsor in Cyprus Villa Retreats. He lets me have 2 visits a year over in Cyprus, where I can use it as like a training camp as well. So that works out really, really
Lovely.
well. Yeah, it's class. And then Empire, my management team, they sponsor me through a company that they work with as well. So, but yeah, just it means a lot. And at the end of the day, I'd like to. This last fight I had was on Sky. Like, well, obviously you watched it on the TV.
Oh, interrupting my date night.
So, yes. So
that's
I'd
really
like
cool.
to think any sponsorship that do come on board, they're getting the right sort of presence that they deserve. Do you know what I mean, on the big screen? So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so mate, listen, I think what you're doing is great. I think anyone who, well, I mean, not only serves in the RAF, but people who manage to get into the ring have got the enormous pendulous testicles to get into a ring and do what you're doing and do so well at it. It's just it's beyond what I can imagine. It's really, it's brave, it's cool, and I just wish you all the best with it. I think you've got it. There's something about you. You got a power. Yeah, it might be your eyes, but you've definitely got some kind of power about you. So I wish you all the best with everything going forward.
Appreciate
mate.
that. Thank you very much.
And if you ever want to come back, if we can ever help with anything,
Absolutely.
with any luck, hopefully at some point we'll be the #1 podcast in the country. So we can be more help to you then as well.
That's
so
it.
yeah. Well, listen, Brad, thanks for coming. So where can people find you, mate? If you want to reach out.
Facebook or Instagram, just Brad Axe. Like I say, Instagram's probably a bit better at the minute, isn't it? So yeah. But either way, Facebook or Instagram, get in touch, and thank you very much for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure. And listener, if you're listening, so support Brad. Go find Brad on Instagram and Facebook, but also get yourself to grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk. That's the sponsor for this show and everything that we do. So thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. If you're listening on Spotify, please consider clicking the follow button and leaving us a 5-star review. That helps propel us to where we want to go. So Brad, thanks again, mate. Really appreciate seeing you.
Thank you very much for having me on again.
And you, listener, we will see you next time. Au revoir.
Hiya, you're right. Hi, everyone.